Wike issues fresh 2-week ultimatum to Abuja landowners to clear CFO debts. Ahead of Christmas, chicken, turkey, groundnut oil prices surge in Jos. Travelers welcome free train rides initiative amid concerns over logistics. And on the international scene, powerful quake strikes Vanuatu, killing 14 persons. U.S. Embassy affected. Good evening. Welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Sumaya Abubakar. And now the details. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has given owners of the 762 plots of land in Maitama 2 District, Cadastral Zone A10, Abuja, a fresh 2-week ultimatum to pay for their certificates of occupancy, the CFO, or RIC's final revocation of their allocation. It was disclosed in a statement on Friday by his senior special assistant on public communications and new media, Lere Olayinka. He said Wike reiterated that the primary interest was not for people to lose their lands, but to get them to make necessary payments to the government. This fresh ultimatum comes a day after Wike revoked lands belonging to allegedly the former President Muhammadu Buhari, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. Also, 759 other prominent figures and organizations in Maitama 2, Abuja, were also affected by the revocation, which was for non-payment of the certificate of occupancy. This revocation by the minister comes, of course, months after he made several pleas to the residents of the FCT, particularly those residing in the hybrid areas of the nation's capital, to pay outstanding fees owned by the FCTA or risk a revocation of their lands. Now joining us via phone call to talk about these issues from Adamawa, Barrister Sunday Wuriga. Good evening, Barrister.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Now, having this, concerns that people in power often overreach when revoking lands already allocated of or belonging to individuals or entities. What does the law provide in land management, and are some of the recent developments in accordance with the provision of the law?
Well, the law is very clear. The Land Use Act has provided revocation in breach of certain conditions. Specifically, Section 28 of the Act has provided from subsection 5 reasons or grounds for revocation of land already allocated to individuals or companies. Some of the reasons could be breach of any of the provisions contained in the Act or in the certificate as contained in the certificate, even refusal to accept the certificate and pay for it is a ground also for the revocation, and some other violations that are contained therein. With regards to the notices issued for allottees to like 2 weeks, it is within the ambit of the law. The minister is acting within the provisions of the law, because when you are allocated a land and you refuse to accept the certificate, or you refuse to pay for the certificate, or you refuse to comply with some of the conditions contained in the certificate, certainly the consequence of that is revocation, and it is unequivocal.
So there's been concerns and call for the Land Use Act to be looked into. So what is fundamentally missing or misused, in the application of the Land Use Act?
Well, I am of the opinion that the Land Use Act, like any other law, actually should be looked into, but then it should not just be called to look into this Land Use Act should not just be because some people refuse to accept or pay for their certificates, and the certificate, the allocation is being revoked. I want to believe that that is mischievous because it contains or it affects certain individuals. This is a fact, and I think in this instance, the minister is acting within the ambit of the law, and I think that provision should also be strengthened. By and large, where a land cannot be allocated to you, and then you refuse to accept it, and you refuse to pay for it, you refuse to abide by some of the conditions contained in the certificate of the allocating the land to you, and then you expect that the government would just be handicapped. I think the time has come for our laws to be strengthened. If it is something to be looked into, then certainly it should be from the prism that, in fact, it must not wait for years or for months before the revocation could take place. It should be that if you are given an allocation, you must fulfill all conditions recondite within 2 or 4 weeks at most, or your allocation stands revoked. So the challenge we are having is a lot of us are sentimental because maybe when names are involved, people will begin to look at it from a certain perspective. But a lot of poor people, if this land is allocated to poor people, nobody will be making this noise.
All right, Barrister, let's talk about how many people are concerned, of course, about and also have accused the government agencies of lackluster performance in processing documentation for land titles. So is this a legal backdoor to challenge threats of revocation by the government?
Well, with regards to the issue of documentation, we have to accept the fact that even the land registry or the people in the Ministry of Lands most often are actually not doing enough to ensure proper documentation. And we have to accept the fact that corruption has set in seriously to the extent that land is even being allocated to ghost individuals. And people in the Ministry of Land or the land registry just use that for their own benefit, actually.
All right.
And that is bad. So something must be done about that. And I think it is high time the issue of pictures is even reintroduced, and features like national identity numbers and stuff like that.
Okay. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Barrister Sunday Wiriga.
It is my pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, moving on from that story. A challenging festive season looms for millions of Nigerians as inflation continues to rise under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, despite various economic interventions, both headline and food inflation remain on an upward trajectory, significantly eroding citizens' purchasing power. Victoria Tokolo reports from Agege Market in Lagos.
Agege Market, Lagos. The impact of inflation is deeply felt as families struggle with soaring price of food, energy, transportation, and other essentials. As the festive season nears, the situation continues to worsen. For many Nigerians, basic traditions like preparing special meals, traveling to visit family, or buying gifts may be out of reach due to the skyrocketing prices. The latest report from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, reveals a worsening inflationary trend, with headline inflation rising to 34.60% in November, while food inflation climbed to 39.93%, up from 39.19% the previous month. This marks a significant increase from the same period last year, when the headline inflation was 28.20% and food inflation stood at 32.84%. The surge in food inflation highlights the severity of the issue. Staples like ofada rice, yam, and dry fish have become very expensive. Traders in Agege Market, both perishables and staples, express their frustration with the rising cost.
Basket want to not now. I go buy 40,000. That's 8,000. Pepper, rubber now 25, 30,000. a bawa now. Basket of tomatoes 40, 45. Pepper, solo 35, 30. Jumbo 50, 40. Tatashe 35, 40.
Before, I dey buy the punch 500 naira. But now the punch is 8,000 naira. Now I dey sell am for 500 naira, but before is 100 naira. People dey buy it, but they no be like before. What it don cost? Before, like one bag, it's 40,000, 35. But now, it's 250,000 bag. Derika, before, I sell it 500 naira. But now, it's 3,025.
The sharp rise in inflation attributed to several factors, including rising energy costs, transportation expenses, insecurity affecting agricultural output, and the exchange rate crisis. Meat sellers in Agege market also share their frustrations over the rising cost of beef.
In market now, madam, doesn't before, person if buy market 1,000 and 2,000, but now this start with 2,000, 10,000, 4,000, 7,000. But now no meat 1,000, no meat 2,000 naira, no meat 3,000. The person start to buy market correct now 5,000 naira, 6,000 naira. So Nigeria, let me best government to take everything conduct.
Before, they buy one leg like 100,000, but now you got too much. Now they buy 150, one leg. Yeah, she's good like that. You know, now anyway, they suffer now.
As Nigerians brace for a difficult festive season, the need for effective economic policies is urgent. Inflation has severely eroded the purchasing power of citizens, and while government interventions in monetary policies have been made, they have proven inadequate in addressing the crisis.
With Christmas fast approaching, prices of chicken, turkey and groundnut oil have soared in just markets. The traders are expressing concern, saying the price hike are affecting their businesses. Ado Musa reports.
As Christmas draws near, the prices of poultry and groundnut oil have surged in various markets in Plateau State. Our reporters visited several markets on Friday, where both traders and buyers voiced their frustrations over the rising prices. At Railway Market, which is a popular hub for chickens and turkeys, the prices have significantly increased. Sellers explain that the cost of the poultry varies depending on size, with chickens now ranging from 8,000 naira to 25,000 naira, while turkeys are priced between 70,000 naira and 110,000 naira.
The price of chicken has risen due to the increasement of the heat. Before we are selling chicken at the rate of 5,000, 4,000, but now we are selling chicken at the rate of 20,000, 15,000, 16,000, 17,000.
Honestly, things are not like they used to be. The prices of birds last year were much lower. This year, the prices have doubled. For example, we used to buy 8-week broilers for 7,000 naira, but now they cost 15,000 naira. With the upcoming demand for birds, prices may go even higher. People are really struggling. At the new market, groundnut oil sellers are also feeling the impact of rising prices, with many customers choosing to hold off on purchase due to the increase. The prices of groundnut oil keeps going up. We have been told that the shortage of groundnut this year and high demand have contributed to the hike. A 5-liter gallon now costs 18,000 naira, while a 6-liter jar goes for 95,000 naira. Both buyers and sellers are complaining. One bottle of groundnut oil, that is 75 cl, is now sold for 3,000 naira. It is becoming too expensive for many, and the business is not moving as it used to. It is a problem for both sellers and customers. The rising cost of these food items are clearly affecting the business, with traders expressing concerns over the future of their sales.
people are not patronizing the market. If somebody come, if you ask you about the price, when you tell you the price, then they will now go back. They will not come back again because the price is going higher. Because the price is going higher to them, they will not come back again. As you can see, the market, look at the market is so dull.
Traders are calling on the government to take action to ease the pressure on both sellers and customers, warning that the current situation is becoming increasingly unsustainable. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Maiduguri residents are voicing their frustration over the sharp rise in smartphone prices. With costs tripling, many are turning to used phones as a more affordable option. While Nigeria annually imports around 63 million smartphones, the surge in prices has led to a decline in demand. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurutsi has more on the story.
Nigeria boasts over 218 million mobile subscriptions with 132 million users of mobile devices. As one of the highest importers of smartphones and gadgets, the country's economic challenges have taken a toll, leading to a 200% price hike. Jogwal, a popular market in Maiduguri, remains a hub for all types of phones, including second-hand devices. Abubakar Isa, a resident, was recently in search of a new phone to replace his damaged one, but found the prices beyond his budget, prices he could have previously afforded.
I bought my old phone for 120,000 naira. Now it's 250,000 naira. I'm surprised the price skyrocketed so much. It means I have to raise more money to buy it. I don't want to buy a second-hand phone because they don't last long, even though it will take time before I complete what I have.
Things are high, I won't lie. Things are going high. So before the things were cheaper, but like in the aspect of iPhone, then say this iPhone work with dollar. Like when the dollar go up, so that is when the iPhone go up also. So I don't know. So I think things are going high. Phones are going high. The price of phone they are going high. But now I don't know what's the reason.
Phone sellers attribute the price hike to the naira to dollar exchange rate and rising fuel cost. To cope, some sellers offer installment plans, allowing customers to make monthly payments until the full price is paid off.
The increase of that dollar rate has affected the price. Before, dollar was around 1,200, 300, and now it's about 1,700 and even something more than that. Number one. Number two, the increase of this fuel price has also affected the price.
Da in ka zo shagon nan ana cika sosai ana karban izini yanzu gaba ɗaya bai wuce mutum biyu wani ka gani yayi.
Back then, our shop was always crowded with customers, but now things have gone worse. We hardly get customers who can do the monthly installment payment.
For phone technicians, however, business is thriving as more people seek repairs instead of buying new devices.
I can say now it's better than before. So now it's better than before. Why? Because we have many customers than before.
Phone sellers remain hopeful that prices will drop if the government reinstates fuel subsidies and the exchange rate stabilizes. Until then, many residents will continue to make do with what they can afford. Beatrice Kurutsi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The free train rides approved by President Bola Tinubu has taken effect, with train passengers in Abuja taking advantage of the government's initiative to travel for the holidays. Trust TV's Chairman Dabeng has a situation report on the implementation. Take a look.
As the Christmas and New Year celebrations approach, Nigerians nationwide are making trips far and near to be with their loved ones during the festive season. Now, in order to reduce some of the financial burdens brought on by the poor state of the economy, President Bola Tinubu has approved free train rides for all Nigerians.
But how aware are Nigerians of this opportunity, and are they taking full advantage of it? Trust TV spoke to travelers in Abuja to hear about their experiences.
It was an easy experience for me, and before I heard about the federal government, I had plans of subscribing, and when I heard that the federal government was giving free tickets to those traveling around Nigeria, I was so happy. At least it helped me save a certain sum of money.
Okay, the process at first, initially it was not seamless as expected. Yeah, because I think by 12 a.m. for a Wednesday, I'm supposed to be eligible to book for Friday's trip. But unfortunately, from 12 a.m., the portal keeps showing no train available until 5 p.m. that same day. In fact, at some point within the day, I had to send a mail to the company that manages the booking process to respond. And they actually did respond promptly. And they told me that it's going to be resolved shortly, and that was what happened actually. So I was able to book for today's train around 6 p.m. that Wednesday.
According to Ben Iluanose, the acting managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation (NRC), the corporation is working to carry thousands of passengers daily throughout this period.
The train ride between today and early January is free of charge. So it started today. What we've been doing, people have been booking tickets online, but the ones that are not able to book, if they come to the station, we profile them, take their name, take their identity cards and all that, and then we allow them to board. In terms of numbers, we are looking at carrying about 20,000 passengers a day, which will translate to just slightly over 340,000 passengers for the period of the palliative.
He advised travelers to plan ahead and arrive at the station at least an hour before departure to avoid delays. Ilanose also encouraged Nigerians to take full advantage of this government-supported palliative. Addressing some challenges in the process, Ilanose assured travelers that the NRC is working to make the system as seamless as possible.
The little hitches we've been hearing about, we've been getting feedbacks from the people that rode in the morning. Some of them are quite technical in terms of the poor network, in terms of getting the tickets and all of that. We are doing something about it. We are making sure that our e-ticketing partners are making sure that their websites are up and running, their portals are up and running and all that.
Despite a few hitches in the booking process, hundreds of Nigerians, as seen behind me, were able to book their free tickets to spend the holidays with their loved ones. Now, this move by the federal government has been praised as helpful, and Nigerians everywhere are hoping to see more initiatives like this by the government. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Vesico-vaginal fistula, a condition that causes continuous urinary incontinence due to an abnormal opening between the bladder and the vagina, remains a significant health challenge in Nigeria. Nigeria has one of the highest burdens of VVF in developing nations, with an estimated 400,000 to 800,000 women living with the condition. Hassan Kohli reports on efforts by the VVF Center in Gombe Specialist Hospital to manage its prevalence through free surgical procedures.
A bid to address this public health issue, the Vesico-vaginal Fistula Center at the State Specialist Hospital in Gombe is offering free surgical repairs and medical treatment for women suffering from uncontrollable urine leakage, a common symptom of VVF or rectovaginal fistula.
There is direct cause, which has to do with prolonged obstructed labor, and then there is trauma. Trauma, when we talk about trauma, there is road traffic accident, then as a result of rape, as a result of injury, maybe use of forced delivery. Then there are other causes like infection, examples like HIV, tuberculosis.
Women who have endured prolonged, obstructed labor, often coupled with inadequate or absent antenatal care, are particularly vulnerable to developing VVF. However, other causes are not widely known, contributing to the lack of widespread efforts to combat the disease. At the Gombe State Specialist Hospital, women undergoing treatment for VVF are provided with free investigations and meals during their stay. Often discharged, they are also given transportation allowances and enrolled in the Basic Health Care Provision Fund to ensure continued access to care.
Following the kind of devastated life those patients are going through as a result of having the obstetric fistula. If you can see, most of the patients that we are recording here, the ones that we've prepared, most of them, in fact, almost all of them, only very few that are congenital, but majority of them, they are obstetric fistulas. In fact, we initiated these surgeries. The center was established last year, September, and we operated about 120-something patients. And then among those patients that we operated, we have recorded a success rate of more than 70%.
Many women and girls with this condition face social stigma, with some being abandoned by their husband and isolated by their communities due to the unpleasant odor associated with urine leakage. However, at the Gombe Specialist Hospital, patients receive care and support, making them feel welcomed and valued.
I suffered from this illness for 7 years due to complications during pregnancy. It was very challenging, but when I came here, they treated me for over 2 weeks free of charge. I am deeply grateful for this life-saving initiative.
With Nigeria accounting for nearly half of a woman worldwide living with unrepaired VVF, the Gombe Specialist Hospital's initiative is a vital step toward reducing the prevalence of the condition and providing help to many affected women. From Gombe, Hassan Kohli, reporting for Trust TV.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has launched an investigation into the alleged vandalism and theft of borehole equipment in Kurfi town, the headquarters of Kurfi local government area in Kaduna State. The investigation follows a petition filed by a Kaduna-based human rights organization, Network for Justice, demanding a probe into the mysterious disappearance of borehole equipment belonging to the Kurfi community. The report.
The petitioners, including Dr. Bashir Kurfi, Abdullahi Hassan, and retired Wing Commander Gambo Kurfi, alleged that the stolen equipment includes metal tanks, water reservoirs, and submersible components. The theft has left the entire town in an acute water crisis for over a year.
Quite easily for us, Kurfi is one of our active areas. So we contacted our agents there and we asked them to please investigate to find out if there is any, if this thing is really true. And the report we received confirmed that yes, truly the incident had happened and it has put the people, the local community in serious danger because they have lost a very, very vital infrastructure that was helping almost a large number of the community. And that's why it prompted us to go further and investigate and then finally file our complaint to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, upon which they responded accordingly.
The petition names several prominent individuals in the community as suspects, including Aminu Maradi, Magajin Garin Kurfi, Ilyasu Muhammad Maradi, the divisional police officer of the area, and Mustafa Sani. Others mentioned in the petition for alleged conspiracy and theft include Usman Sani, Dayebu Abba, and Manir Gambo. During a visit by EFCC officials, members of Network for Justice expressed their frustration over the situation which they say is the root cause of the town's persistent water shortage. They urged residents to remain patient as efforts are underway to restore water supply. The chairman of Kurefi local government, Manir Shehu Wurma, condemned the vandalism and theft of the borehole equipment. He revealed that Governor Diko Ratda's administration has directed the immediate replacement of the stolen equipment to alleviate the water shortage. Residents of Kaduna have commended Governor Ratda for his swift response to the plight of Kurefi people. They also appealed to the state government to implement stricter measures to prevent the vandalization of public infrastructure across the state. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Kaduna.
The magistrate court sitting in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, has granted bail to the human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi over the alleged defamation suit against him. The chief magistrate, Abayomi Adiosun, while granting the bail application from the defense counsel on Friday, said the defendant must provide 2 sureties, with one of them a house owner in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital. The court also held that the defendant should submit his international passport and refrain from granting media interviews, both electronic or print, pending the determination of the substantive suit. Farotimi was arrested following a petition filed by Chief Afe Babalola SAN, a prominent lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria. Now moving on to more stories. The Lambido of Kano Emirates, Umar Abubakar, has issued a clarion call to his subjects, urging them to avoid having children they cannot afford to care for. He also emphasized the importance of grassroots family meetings to address societal challenges and curb rising social vices. Trust TV's Hassan Koli reports.
Speaking at a community gathering in Tabara, the Lambido highlighted the link between unchecked population growth and the prevalence of social vices, which often escalate into security threats. He urged families to embrace responsibility and deliberate planning to improve their quality of life.
As parents, we must be realistic about our responsibilities. Do not bring children into this world who do not cater for their needs. It is better to have fewer children raised properly than many left to some marry additional wives for the profit of their families without considering the effect of such actions in the future.
The Lambido also called for revival of family meetings as a grassroots strategy to address community issues such as youth unemployment, drug abuse, and domestic conflicts.
We need to revive the culture of unity and dialogue among family members. I urge all families to hold regular meetings to discuss issues. These discussions will help us identify challenges and work together to solve them before they escalate.
Residents of the Emirate welcomed the Lambido's message, acknowledging its alignment with their realities. However, they noted the need for government and NGO support to make family planning, education, and resources more accessible. The Lambido's proactive stance has sparked conversations across the Emirate, reinforcing the call for family responsibility and community-driven solutions to societal challenges. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
The ongoing Southern Kaduna Festival has drawn crowds from across the region as it celebrates the rich cultural heritage of the area. The 3-day event, which began on Thursday, has featured an array of activities, with traditional wrestling taking center stage at the Emir of Jama'a Palace in Kafanchan. The traditional wrestling event, a nearly forgotten tradition in the Jama'ah Emirate, has sparked excitement among attendees. Now, youth and elders gathered to witness the display of strength and skill, a cultural practice that has long been a symbol of unity and bravery. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Jama'ah, Muhammad Isa Muhammad, personally attended the wrestling matches, taking time to engage with the audience and emphasize the importance of preserving such traditions. Governor Dikko Umar Rada has signed the 2025 budget titled Building Your Future 2 into law. The budget totals over 692 billion naira, reflecting a 10 billion naira increase from the initial proposal of 682 billion naira submitted by or to the Kaduna State House of Assembly on November 25th of 2024. The report.
At the signing ceremony, Governor Radda commended the Kaduna State House of Assembly for its dedication and thoroughness in reviewing and approving a budget aimed at advancing developmental goals in 2025. The governor also praised the ministries, departments, and agencies for their meticulous preparation of the budget, emphasizing its alignment with the administration's objectives. The 2025 budget prioritizes capital projects with a significant focus on education and agriculture. Governor Radda explained that these projects aim to empower citizens, enhance quality of life, and reduce poverty across the state.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we must thank you for the work we have done day and night to ensure that the state has a budget that will be run for the developmental activities of the state in the year 2025. And we appreciate the diligent work we have done and also the due diligence we have done on the budget along with the NDAs to ensure that we have a document that will guide the administration by sharing the mandate given to us by the people of the state.
He also acknowledged the Assembly's effective oversight functions during 2024, which ensured MDS delivered on their mandates. He urged lawmakers to maintain their commitments to transparency, accountability, and good governance. Earlier, the Speaker of Kaduna State House of Assembly, Nasir Yahaya, described the budget as a product of rigorous legislative scrutiny. He expressed pride in the Assembly's efforts to ensure it reflects the needs and aspirations of the people.
We believe that this revised budget was to provide the necessary framework for the development of our state in improving the legal standard of our citizens. Your Excellency, we appreciate your commitment to the development of our people, and we are confident that with this budget, more progress will be recorded across the state.
The Speaker voiced optimism that the budget will drive significant progress across the state in 2025.
In a landmark move to enhance water access in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi, alongside the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, has officially flagged off the Greater Dutse Water Supply Project. The groundbreaking ceremony took place at Sintilmawa Town, Ringim Local Government Area. The Greater Dutse Water Supply Project, valued at 54 billion naira, represents a collaborative effort between the federal government of Nigeria and the Jigawa State government. The initiative aims to provide consistent access to clean water for Dutse and neighboring communities addressing persistent challenges in water supply and public health. The report.
Speaking at the event, Governor Namadi underscored the transformative impact of the project on the lives of residents, emphasizing its role in improving health, well-being and socio-economic activities.
Let me up initially express our deepest and profound gratitude to His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for fulfilling his promise to see the actualization of the Greater Abuja Water Supply Project, which is the ultimate solution to the serious challenge of sustainable access to safe drinking water to dwell in the state capital since its creation in August 1991.
The Commissioner for Water Resources, Ibrahim Garba, and the Emir of Dusai, Hamim Nuhu Sanusi, also highlighted the significance of the project for the state's development.
I must thank Mr. President Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu for his intervention, and also my brother, Honorable Abubakar Bichi, House Committee Chairman for Appropriation, for supporting His Excellency and people of Jigawa State to make this our dream reality.
Because this project will come with a lot of supply chain. Our people who are predominantly farmers will enjoy this project. And our people in the urban areas will have access to clean water.
Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Joseph Telumon Usev, reiterated the federal government's commitment to tackling Nigeria's water crisis. He praised partnership with Jigawa State as a model for collaborative solutions to the critical infrastructure challenges.
In the Renew Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, in his promises, said he's going to make life meaningful for Nigerians. And he specifically promised the Dusai people of Jigawa State that this project, the Greater Dusai Water Supply Project, is going to be a reality. And today, as the President being a man of his words, we are here today to commission these projects which he holds and tests, and he has approved and funded for it to be implemented.
Once completed, the project is expected to improve water distribution efficiency, combat waterborne diseases, and drive economic growth across the region. The groundbreaking ceremony drew prominent government officials, traditional rulers, community leaders, and development partners, all celebrating the initiative as a milestone for Jigawa State and a model for the nation.
Let's now join Yusuf Akogu for Business News Update.
Nigeria's government revenue to GDP ratio is projected to hit 10.3% in 2025. Fitch Ratings, an international credit rating agency, said in a recent report that efforts by government to raise non-oil revenues through its series of tax reforms are necessary to expand government revenue, which stood at 9%. It noted that despite the proposed VAT increase from 7.5% to 10% in 2025, the general government revenue to GDP will only rise marginally from 9% to 10.3% next year, still lower than the average 19%. In 2023, the general government revenue rose to about 9.4% of GDP, and projection for 2024 and 2025 estimates further increases to 13.5% and 13.2% respectively. The Naira has maintained relative stability in the foreign exchange market, bolstered by inflows from the Nigerian diaspora returning home for Christmas, proceeds from recent Eurobond issuance, and enhanced market transparency introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. These factors have contributed to improved liquidity and confidence in the foreign exchange market, with Naira trading within a range of 1,660 to 1,525 per dollar in the official and parallel market. Authorized currency dealers quoted the dollar at a highest rate of 1,550 per dollar on Thursday, stronger than 1,565 naira seen on Wednesday, while the market recorded a steady lowest rate of $1,531 per dollar at NAFEM. Oil prices fall on Friday on worries about demand growth in 2025, especially in top crude importer China, putting global oil benchmark on track to end the week down nearly 3%. At the London market, Brent will sell for $72 per barrel. For the oil basket, price steadies at $73 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Still on business, residents of Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, have shared mixed reactions regarding the proposed ban of the use of dollars in Nigeria. While some believe the dollar's influence is indispensable to the economy, others argue that banning it is the only solution to restoring the naira's value. The report.
Ado Adamu, Gabriel Young, and Victor Gay, residents of Jalingo, expressed concern over the heavy reliance on the dollar. They noted that Nigeria's economy is deeply intertwined with the global market, as the country imports most of its goods. They emphasized the need for Nigerians to prioritize local production and engage in massive export activities to strengthen the naira. According to them, until Nigeria reduces its reliance on foreign products, the use for global currencies like dollar remains essential.
In every economy, you have factors that determine prices. And of course, dollar is a global currency. And because it's a global currency, it is a major global player. So because global production happens through the use of dollar and other major currencies. So it's fundamental. It's affecting Nigeria, especially because Nigeria is an importer nation. We import virtually everything we produce, except very few agricultural produce.
The issue of dollar, the increment in dollar rate, and its reduction has to do with the productivity of the country. Because if you are not producing anything, there are no other measures that you can really curtail the prices of dollar in the country. It is when you have a favorable foreign exchange that you are able to control that.
On the contrary, analyst Bashir Adamu, businessman Abdul Malik Hamid, and Abdul Hakim Mustafa argued that the banning of the dollar would address Nigeria's economic challenges. They pointed out that the most economic transactions in Nigeria are conducted in naira, with the dollar being used primarily by politicians and others involved in illicit activities, which artificially inflates its value. The trio advocated to return to traditional resource-based economies such as farming, fishing, and animal rearing, which sustained Nigeria in the past and gave the naira more value than foreign currencies. They stressed the need for citizens to embrace the approach to revive the naira's strength.
We capitalize on importation rather than exportation, even though there is insinuation saying that the Senate has passed a first reading regarding to at least ban use of dollars in Nigeria. I think that is a good development. It will seriously assist us, and we must at least capitalize on produce rather than importation.
Bringing dollars in our country is a problem to masses. First of all, by the way, dollar is not our currency. We borrow this money from outside and we're using it. Now, dollar is overshadow our money. Our now become useless. So, to using dollar in our country, I'm not interested. I think I will advise those who are making use of dollar, they should stop using it.
It is highly unfortunate. When we were growing up, we met our parents farming, which we all believe that is in Hausa language. We farm cotton. We have the granite pyramid in Kano, cocoa in the southwest, rubber in the east, which earns us dollars in abundance. But as we are now, that we are just a consuming nation, I think it's becoming a problem for us. That's more major fact that we solely depend on that dollar for everything we do, to the extent that some people don't even collect naira in Nigeria again.
Both groups called on the Federal House of Representatives to ensure fairness and transparency in their deliberations on the issue.
On the international scene, a powerful 7.3 magnitude earthquake hit Vanuatu on Thursday, sparking a network outage, crushing vehicles and damaging multiple buildings, with reports of 14 people killed. A complex in the capital, Port Vila, has hosts the diplomatic missions of Western nations, including the United States, was among the buildings damaged. The quake struck 30 kilometers west of the Pacific Island nation's capital at about 57.1 kilometers deep shortly afternoon. After that, according to the United States Geological Survey, it was followed by a 5.5 magnitude aftershock. Let's join Emmanuel Fashemi for sports news.
Standing head coach Daniel Ogumodede has named Kano Pillars Rabi Ali, wingback Sadiq Ismail, centre-back Stephen Manyo, midfielders Musa Zayad and Jide Fatokun, and forwards Anas Yusuf, Sikiru Alime in an 18-man roster for Sunday's 8th African Nations Championship qualifying match against Ghana's Black Galaxies in Accra. The Gaffer also picked goalkeeper Henry Ozomina, defender Victor Collins, forward Abubakar Damu for the must-win two-leg encounter as the Galaxies stopped Nigeria from qualifying in 2009 and 2023 editions. The Super Eagles B, under the watchful eyes of Ogumodede and Fidelis Ilejukwu alongside Olatunji Barwa, had staggered training sessions over 3 weeks from the month of October before a final training camp at the Remo Star Sports Institute, Ikene Remo, Ogun State. The squad includes 2 goalkeepers, 7 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 5 strikers. Sunday's first leg fixture is scheduled for Accra Sports Stadium with kickoff set for 5 p.m. Nigerian time. The first ever CAF Safe Stadium Initiative workshop in Nigeria came to a close in the FCT, Abuja. The workshop drew participants from diverse sectors, including the 20 Nigerian Premier Football League clubs, and was impactful for the participants as they acquired new skills and knowledge of how to safeguard and protect lives, properties within the stadium premises. The last day of the workshop saw resource persons from CAF, led by the head of CAF Safety and Security, Dr. Christian Emerua, take a tour of the MKO Abiola National Stadium for an enlightened practical session of the initiative, teaching and with emphasis on crowd control. The General Secretary of Nigerian Football Federation, Dr. Muhammad Sanusi, echoed his joy and thanked Dr. Emerua for his perseverance in ensuring that Nigeria profited from the initiative. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.
Now, before we go, on a sad note, the International Press Institute Nigeria has announced the passing of its treasurer and veteran journalist Hajia Rafatu Salami. In a statement issued Friday in Abuja by the IPI Nigeria Secretary, Malam Ahmed Aishekarau, the organization describes Salami as an accomplished journalist who rose to the position of Assistant Director, Digital Media at the Voice of Nigeria. Rafatu was a compassionate woman, always ready to support her colleagues with her vast experience. Her commitment to journalism and press freedom was evident in her tenure as Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT Council, the statement noted. Salami's passing, Shekarau said, has left a significant void in the journalism profession. Salami, who was married with children, will be buried at Gudu Cemetery, Abuja, following funeral prayers at the Abuja National Mosque. Rafatu Salami's legacy as a journalist and unionist dedicated to press freedom and ethical reporting will endure, her colleagues said, as they mourn her untimely passing. Now, so rest in peace. And on that note, we wrap up News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Good night.